We're gonna present brief segments from the show 爱情保卫战, aka In Protection of Love or whatever. And in this show, it's a Chinese guy dating a Russian girl. We're gonna see some cultural clashes. We're gonna see some interesting stuff, background behind their story. She seems to take him for granted. She and he both admit that he likes and loves her more than she does. So there's a lot of conflict in this relationship because she feels like she always needs space and that he's always clinging on. And he feels like, no, that's what boyfriends do. He's more traditional. He thinks, no, I gotta be where you are. So you go to a party, even if it's a party with all Russian people, I gotta be there even if I can't speak anything. So there's a lot of random controversy / tensions like that.
So how did you guys meet? Well, she didn't know certain things to do at the gym. And so I would teach her how to do the stuff at the gym. And that's how we met.
In other words, you are dating a gym thought. If you've ever seen videos Sunrise Hoodie has made on gym thoughts, go watch that. What are they in the gym for? They're in there with their tight yoga pants and everything to pick up guys, or are they in there actually to work out? Some girls, they're like fucking doing box jumps and just like going at it with weights, but a lot of these girls, these gym thoughts, they're just like kind of looking around as they're doing a side plank, and the side plank, the positioning is completely wrong, and they're just like, okay, which one of these guys is gonna take the bait to come talk to me? So she's in China. She probably does not speak Chinese very well. So she's like, how can I get the Chinese person to notice me? She's pretty. I think objectively she's normal looking for a Russian girl, but in China, people are gonna be like, oh my god, blonde, pretty, all the features on the face are symmetric. Ah. This guy is in for a lot of trouble, especially for a gym thought. I think she knows how to get attention.
I just broke up with a boyfriend. So at first we just were friends. And then I just figured out ways and we just talked more.
They never addressed this during the whole entire episode. He just revealed he's kind of like a rebound. You know, she broke up, I broke up. And then she's trying to get back on her feet. She goes to the gym, right, to get more attractive, and she meets this guy. What he said was they talked and got to know each other a little bit first before they became boyfriend and girlfriend. But still, you're kind of a rebound. You gotta know how you stand in her eyes. Better know if it's a good relationship or is it a relationship that's gonna go like this. I mean, I think all relationships go like this, but it's like, what kind of decay is it, right? Is it this type of decay? Is it this type of decay? And if it's this type of decay, it gets bad real quick, but then it steadies out. Or is it linear decay? That just got all nerdy. I don't think this relationship is on equal footing. I don't think he realizes that he basically stepped into the fire pit.
One day, he wanted to go watch a movie with me, but another guy wanted to go get coffee with me. So he came to the coffee shop and asked, oh, who is he? Who? I am the boyfriend. And I felt so awkward. And I asked her to go to the movies and she wouldn't tell me why she had something to do. So then I go to the coffee shop and she's with another guy. I didn't know what they were doing. So that's why I was just asking him.
So let's break this down. Your boyfriend wants to watch a movie with you. He's probably paying for it, right? We know how it works. So he's paying for this movie. You don't tell him explicitly why you're busy. Just like, I am busy. I'm really sorry. He's like, oh, I gotta make sure my girlfriend's okay. Why is she busy? You know, maybe her feelings hurt or something. I gotta, you know how women communicate. Sometimes they're not direct with you. He goes to the cafe where he thinks you're stunning. Maybe you're crying or you're being a gloomy Russian and you're with another guy and you guys are talking and chatting over coffee. What is he gonna do? Can you expect him not to be a little suspicious? You're flaking on your boyfriend who planned a date. You know, that's what couples do, right? To go and talk to some other random guy. Maybe we were just friends. There's a boundary, right? When you cross the boundary, it can be defined as emotional cheating. Now, what is emotional cheating, guys? That's something I want to put to you guys in the comments. Let me know what you guys think emotional cheating is. I think it's almost like is a hipster or not a hipster type of definition. You know it when you see it. You know it when you hear about it. And in this case, I think I hear about the fact that she's keeping it a secret that she's meeting this guy for coffee. That just triggers a red flag that this is emotional cheating. It's like there's not a real definition or a real boundary, but when you see it or when you hear it, you know. So I think she was emotionally cheating in this case. See, she's the one talking about it, right? She's saying, oh yeah, this is a problem with him. This is one of the problems we had. It's like, really? Is there a problem with him? Is it a problem that he wants to make sure you're okay? He sees you with another guy, he gets really suspicious, or he has to figure out what's going on? Anyone who sees this is gonna be like,
so you kind of know that men will get jealous. So why are you always doing things to make men jealous? Well, men choose to be jealous. He chose to be jealous.
you see, it's all about putting the responsibility on someone else, right? Well, I do this, but he's the one that chose to feel that way. You can break this down into consequential arguments versus deontological arguments or intent arguments. She's arguing from consequence. It didn't matter what I did, the result, his fault, he chose to be this way. Let's say I go kill someone, I stab someone. He chose to die. It's not my fault. So you can't always do a consequentialist argument, also known as a teleological argument. You can't always do that. Sometimes you have to look at the intent, the motive, the deontological sphere of argumentation. If you're doing something wrong, aka emotional cheating or trying to make your boyfriend jealous to play with him, that is wrong. It doesn't matter what the consequences. Even if he doesn't think it's a big deal, even if he doesn't make a big deal or get offended, you're still doing something wrong. You see, that's why you need deontological arguments also. If you can satisfy both criteria, both the consequentialist and the intent / the present, whatever you call deontological arguments, if you can satisfy them both, you're probably doing good things. If you can only satisfy one, then you probably fucked up. You probably need to re-examine what you're doing. You can relate this to a lot of what dating coaches, a lot of failed PUA teachers do to people. They're teaching all these really creepy, really weird, really socially abnormal behavior. It's okay because the person chose to feel that way. Oh, they don't have to feel that way. They chose to feel awkward. They chose to feel offended, or they chose to say it's harassment or whatever. But ultimately, the stuff you're doing is fucking weird and bad. There are certain boundaries you have to draw. So certain day game, night game stuff, it borders on kind of like, if you don't know these people, don't know what their intent is, you're just looking at it without looking at their intent. You're like, what the fuck? Look at how she hit the nail on the head, man. That's some solid, blunt advice. Most of the time, Chinese people are not this blunt, but this was so blunt and so effective. She's telling him, bro, you gotta stop putting her on a pedestal. You know, the fact that you love her so much and you even admit that you probably love her more than she loves you, that's gotta change now. That's fucking you over because that's making her take you for granted. And part of taking you for granted is she does things that might hurt you, but she doesn't care because she knows deep down at heart you'll still forgive her. You better look at yourself. You were the one that was teaching her how to do stuff at the gym, which means you probably are very physically fit, you're physically active, and you're good looking, right? And you got good personality traits because, I mean, she's not going to just date you because you're good at the gym. So you got a lot of great qualities. And if you're in college, you probably are a smart person. So look at yourself objectively. There's probably millions of girls who like you in college, especially since you're dating some white chick in China. That raises your status a lot. Objectively, a really, really popular and really, really sought after guy, he needs to realize that, and he doesn't. Because all he can think is, oh my God, this girl, man, super exotic, and she likes me, and I like her so much, and I want to marry her, and oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen if I lose her. That's all he's thinking. There are a lot of people who are foreigners in China now, but usually they're not the top of the barrel that go to China. Because again, if you can make it in Russia, you can make it in America, you can make it in England or whatever, you don't need to go to China. Usually the people who are foreigners in China are kind of the bottom of the barrel type of guys. The women too. Usually the women who are the white women, the black women, etc., the Hispanic women in China, they're not like the hottest of the hottest. The hottest of the hottest usually stay in their country. They end up in America because in America, its visa laws attract the best. So that's one thing. The other thing I was talking about status, about how, hey, if you're dating some girl that's foreign, especially if she's lighter skinned, people think you're like amazing. And it's because a lot of times people in China, this is such a bad self-fulfilling prophecy, but they're like, I don't think foreign women are really into my type of Asian guy, or they say some excuse like that. So then when they see a case like this, or they see a guy who's dating a girl that's, let's say, white or whatever, they'll be like, wow, that guy must have something special. Maybe he's really rich, or maybe he's like got the super coolest personality or something, but there's got to be something to make him stand out over the rest of us, Chinese people. So the fact that this guy's dating a Russian chick, it's probably raised his status so much in school. I don't even think he realizes. He can right now, the fact that she's emotionally cheating, he could probably get back at her and bang like 20 women, Chinese women. But I don't think he will because he seems very traditional. In fact, there was a segment I cut out where he's like, I want the Russian girl to meet my parents, but she refuses to meet my parents. Oh my God. Of course, meeting your parents means I think this relationship is going to go to the next level. And she's like, no, I just want you to be like a little casual boyfriend. And my old company, remember all those hot pot videos I did? Sometimes they would ask me really personal questions and I was stupid. I shouldn't have answered them. They were like, Jay, what kind of girls did you date in college? I was like, oh, white girls. They're like, what? You dated white girls in college? I'm like, yeah. College is majority white. I mean, what was I supposed to do? And they're like, oh, I thought like white girls just like don't date Asian guys. This perception goes really deep. And when I was in college, I was the same. I thought, hey, most white girls just don't even, they see through Asian guys. But then what you realize is girls who you normally don't see the type of girl with the type of guy, they in their head, they're wondering too, does that type of guy like me? It's kind of like a dual ignorance. I was going to say pluralistic ignorance, but that goes too much into psychology, and I'm not ready to justify that word. So I'm going to make up my own word, dualistic ignorance.
In her heart, it's all about being independent and autonomous and individual rights. That's the most important. So her thoughts are from the me angle. Whereas our guy here, he's more a Chinese cultural type of view. He thinks about community, he thinks about friends, he thinks about parents and you guys together. And so, it's a big cultural difference. So our guy has some problems too, of course. He's too clingy. He's clingy to the point where I feel like the girl here is a guy and you, guy, are a girl. Like the coffee shop story. In my mind, I'm thinking of a guy's cheating on a girl and the girl's coming in being like, who is this? I am her girlfriend.
So this dating coach talks about it differently. She talks about culture, the fact that a lot of times Chinese culture teaches people, certain types of guys, to be very selfish. Women too. It teaches women to be very selfless. Sometimes that gets taken advantage of a lot, especially by cultures that are more individualistic, which the Russian culture shouldn't be, though. I mean, they fucking had communism too. In fact, they spread the communist virus to China. What she's saying is that a lot of the West is a lot more individualistic than the East. So when you have these bad parasitic type of people who know that there's a culture where they teach people to be more selfless, they'll go and just take advantage of them. Remember that Belarusian girl? It is kind of cultural, although a lot of you mentioned, and I agree with you, you have to look at it on a person-to-person basis too. You could say, and I would qualify what you say, knowing the cultural influence, people have a tendency this way. So I would say it's still a person-to-person basis, but if I'm looking at a person from the West, I will have a prediction that they have a higher tendency to go more individualistic. It doesn't mean they will. If I had a gun pointed at me and I had to pick one of the two, I would pick selfish. Second part, she's basically teaching him the art of being a man, which has been lost in emasculated societies like China and in the West too. She's telling him, going into a coffee shop, causing a scene, that's what women do. You be a man, you be the rock. She's the water, she's flowing whatever direction society, her friends, and you tell her, but you're the rock. You're there, the water's flowing randomly, boom, it hits you. I don't think it's just Chinese media. All the media, all around the world. I don't know about Islamic media. I have a feeling Islamic media might be more baller about this issue, but non-Islamic media, I guess that's what I have to generalize. It's always the guys like, oh my God, she's so perfect for me. Oh my God, I gotta pursue her. Oh, she's so great. I can't lose her. I love her. Blah, blah. If it's a TV show, he spent like 20 episodes trying to get her, and then if it's a movie, he only gets her at the end after doing all this sacrificial stuff. It's bad influence. Dating game was different the generation before in China and the generation before that. So the parents are probably giving him really bad advice, and that advice could have worked for a Chinese girl because the Chinese girl knows how it was back in the day, but this is a Russian girl. She doesn't know how it was back in the day. All she sees is, oh yeah, this person really likes me, and I don't like him as much. He's cute, but I don't like him as much. I will just, take my time, enjoy China. He'd be my travel guide. And if you watch the whole video, you'll see that she definitely seems more calm and confident than him. You could call it the polarity. She almost seems like the type of person who's just very logical, who isn't peeved or perturbed by a lot of stimuli, and he seems the guy that's very reactive. Like the dating coach is saying, he seems to almost fit more of a feminine type of gender type of role than she is. So the polarity is almost getting reversed. Jealousy and negative emotions, they're not attractive. But communication is important, right? So if she's doing things you don't like, you better tell her. And if she doesn't realize or she's not understanding, you gotta have other ways. One way is to think like a woman and try to make her understand in a way that a woman would understand. He's not capable of doing that now because, again, he loves her so much, he thinks she's the prize. After communication, she's still doing it, and it's affecting your relationship. You gotta punish her. Doesn't mean this, okay? We're past that century now. You take away attention, basically. That's what you do. So don't call her as much. Don't text her as much. Spend some time with your bros. Spend some time studying or go to the gym more and don't take her. That's a way of punishing. They say attention is like sex to a woman. So take away some attention. That's a way to communicate her on a feminine kind of emotional level. Another way, if you're no bullshit, is just be like, okay, I see where this is going. I see 6 months ahead where this is going. Fuck it. I'm going my own way. It's not like he can't find someone else. I mean, there's probably, if you could find one Russian girl, you could probably find another Russian girl, okay? So even if you want to just date Russian women, no, but date some of your Chinese women. There's probably all these like Chinese women that are 10 times more hot and 10 times more caring that likes you, and they're like, why are you dealing with this girl that treats you so bad?
So this is the ultimate ending, whether they're going to decide to reconcile or they're going to break up. So this is the guy, he's like, fuck this. The girl still wants to maintain this relationship. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. The girl just got dumped on live TV. Damn. What is she going to say? I wanted to give him another chance. So you wanted to give him a chance. But I think getting into arguments, I have some issues. I have my problems too.
Time and time again, you don't know what you have until you lose it. At first, she was still being stubborn. She's like, I want to give him another chance. No, he doesn't want to deal with you anymore. He's left. Broken up with you, basically. He said, no, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Finally, at the end, she's like, yeah, I think I have my own problems too. See, that means that deep down in her, she realizes that he's still a good guy. He's a great person, and she's probably not going to find someone as good as him anymore. So, she fucked up time and time again, man. It's not just women, it's men too, but I think majority of women, they don't realize what they have. So what's the lesson, people? What is the lesson, man? I think from a more meta angle, I'm glad these dating coaches are being so honest. I feel like if you say this stuff on national television, all this stuff they're saying, in the West, you might get responses that say, sexist, racist, misogynist. Chinese men really, really need this stuff, especially as more foreign women, especially Western foreign women go into China. Chinese men cannot be facing and confronting and dating foreign women with their traditional Chinese paradigm. They will get taken advantage of like this guy. We've seen the Belarusian girl do that, and this Chinese guy, thank goodness, avoided it because, he had better advice. You need to plant the red pill, as many red pill seeds in Chinese people's minds. And I'm glad this dating show is. The bottom of the barrel of the West is going to continue going into China. The men are going to target those Chinese women that really like white guys. They're going to be like, oh my God, Chinese women are easy. And the women are going to target the really traditional Chinese guys who don't understand that she's just in for the fling. She's not going to marry you. And they'll be like, oh my God, Chinese people are so nice, man. Chinese people, they think I'm a good person. They give me everything. Chinese people, watch out, man. If you're watching from China from a VPN, because YouTube's illegal, even though the fucking Chinese companies still try to claim my copyright. We all know YouTube's illegal. We all know everyone in China tries to go on YouTube because there's a lot of great things here that you guys can't see on your own censored social media. If you watch my channel, take some red pills, and remember, your time as a man is precious. So don't give it to a woman unless it's deserved. Remember that. It doesn't mean treat a relationship like an economic transaction. It just means trust your gut, trust your heart. If you're putting too much time into it, maybe step back a little. Go run more, or go dance more, or go play video games more, or even better yet, go learn finance, go learn programming, go study better, and spend more of your time devoting to something that has better ROI. And then if she shows that she's a better ROI, then you spend more time on her. For women watching this channel, it's the same thing. Like always, we will do more. These translations are very fun, and this show is more meaningful than the dating show. The dating show is all about what not to do. This show is more about, hey, what can you do potentially to get better at life, get better at living a more autonomous, independent life. For everyone, thank you so much for watching. That Russian lady was a suka. The Chinese guy has learned to grow some balls. So good show. Next up, Kenyan guy.